this salon is around the idea that we all have a personal sensorial vocabulary that is ours, and that is not necessarily related to the meaning of the words, but it's more related to the feeling that the words elicit in our bodies. And I feel that words have infinite dimensions and stories within them. Like with one word, you can, create a number of stories, and so this song is about kind of digging in a word to find the gold in it. Is to pick a word that speaks to your body. And again, it doesn't have to be, like the meaning is not very important. I can share some of my words with you. And it can be any language, right? So for instance, there's I think palindrome is a word in English as well, right?
Oh, where it's spelled the same forward and backward?
Yeah. So the word palindrome, I really love. It's like just when I say it, I like it. It like feels good in my mouth, feels good in my body. There's like a Japanese word that's like naruhodo, and I love that word.
That is a good one.
And it means like, oh yeah, that's why. That's what it means. So it doesn't have to be like a fancy spirit or like a fancy word. It's more about the sound of it and how it feels in your mouth and in your body when you say it or when you hear it. Start playing with the sounds of this word and experimenting saying each sound separately and really feeling into what that sound brings in your body, how you want to say it, how you want to move with that sound, as if each syllable was a word in itself, or even each letter. You can work with just a consonant, just a vowel, and then put them together. And as you do this, still you keep noticing what images are coming, what memories are coming, what movement is coming. And keep experimenting with all the sounds in the word until you can't even recognize the word anymore. And you're just playing with sound.
I was a little bit more muted, I think, because Kanna just immediately brought me back to nostalgia, and it immediately brought me to one of my favorite grand aunts who is no longer. And so it was very much a very strong ancestral memory that she just prevailed. And I had a very strong image of her face, and I could hear her voice calling me that. And naturally, I think it brought me to like there were tears that came, obviously, because I miss her dearly. And then when you asked us to break down, and I was feeling it as I was even saying the word, I was filling up my throat and surprisingly in my heart as well. I don't know why I'm surprised by it, but my throat, I never feel it so distinctly, and I did. And then when I had us like parse the syllables, I was so resistant. I didn't want to go there. And then so I did ka, na, and I'm like, this is so meaningless. My brain was going like, this is so meaningless. And then suddenly what happened was I suddenly went into the Hindi alphabet, and I don't really speak Hindi as a language, but I went into the recitation that children do in school, ka, ja, na. And then it became very percussive. And then I was just like bobbing around, doing my little dance. And so I was like, if anyone is looking at me because I had my eyes closed, I know I look like a little like mutant, but like a moment where I just was so lost in just the percussion of like words that were not the original word. Those syllables took me to other syllables.
That's
you know what I mean? And then it transmuted the whole thing for me, because then it became like a dance. I wasn't necessarily moving around, but I was feeling the wave of these things moving, and I didn't go much beyond that, is all I have to say to you. It was quieter, and it was rhythmic, and it definitely just pointed to a very deep yearning for home.
When your words are full of this, then they're that much more powerful.
Yeah.
When you're using them. And I think we're not very aware of that dimension and that capacity that we have to kind of add a whole world behind words that we use. And we don't have, obviously you can't do it like every word in a sentence, but if you know your own vocabulary and your own, you know, like what you resonate, the words that you resonate with, you can kind of pull them out of thin air to put like weight behind what you're saying, your sentences.
So after kind of experiencing this, I obviously always come back to my like actor lens through which I frame things. And obviously this is exceptionally useful because when you're an actor, you have to basically claim words that aren't yours, you know, and make them yours. So it's a sense of great ownership. But for someone who doesn't necessarily do that for their job, like who do you think would benefit from this kind of work?
I mean, I think everybody, but that's me.
Me too.
Definitely writers, people who have to speak in public, people who have to, you know, convey, like therapists, people who have to convey depth of emotion or depth of self through words. Anybody who works with language, which is pretty much everybody.
This is fun. This does feel like word magic, and it ties into the almost Halloween date. So we hope to see you there on Zoom, October 30th. That's a Sunday, and it's from 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12 p.m.